Some yellow cards, a couple issued to both clubs. But other than that, a back and forth championship final so far, as we are just 1 minute into this second half of this championship final. If it stays at 0-0, or even if both teams score 1-1, as Croatia has a chance in the box now. Ball back in, shot, scores! Oscar Cordon! This game is over from Warrior Field in Waterloo, Ontario, the home of the University of Waterloo Warriors. The final whistle has been blown, and Toronto, Croatia are your 2015 Canadian Soccer League First Division champions. Turned over though, another chance. Whiteman, the delivery, and it's a cracking strike from the Vaughn striker, and he equalizes here in the 39th minute. The leading scorer, Jarek Whiteman, adds to his tally, and that's number 18, and equalizes this match. It's 1-1. Amato, up. Can Whiteman counter? He can. Whiteman, he wins the ball. He's on a breakaway here. The strike! Into the corner it goes, and the Azzurri's leading scorer gets the equalizer once again, and it's all tied up 2-2 in the 57th minute. Jarek Whiteman with number 19 on the season and his second of the match. The Chiara now with the delivery. Back post. The header back in. The Azzurri with the chance. Into the box and in the back of the net. And it's number 3 for Jarek Whiteman. The hat trick converted. 3-2 in the 60th minute.
You're watching and listening to Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk Footy Edition with Nicholas Fiore.
Welcome back, everybody, to Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk. I'm Nicholas Fiore, the host of the show and Oakville Blades play-by-play broadcaster in the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And today, I have a special guest on the show for episode 47 and Footy Edition, number 9, Dwayne De Rosario. Dwayne, thanks for coming on.
No problem, man. Glad to be on the show.
DERO, everyone knows you, I think, as DERO. I don't think anyone has ever said your full name, eh? It's always DERO.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it though.
Absolutely. Was it ever confusing when people called DeMar DeRozan maybe DERO, or was it the same, or wasn't it not the same?
Actually, it was a couple of times, couple of incidents, but I figured it out.
Absolutely. Listen, I honestly do appreciate you coming on. Like we said off, just off camera, you're a busy man. You got a family as well. You got the kids going as well. So honestly, I do appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Not a problem.
Let's get it going. Obviously, former, TFC player, former professional soccer player, Canadian men's national team. And you also have a lot of other stuff. You have a book. You have an academy, a soccer academy here in Ontario, appointed the Order of Ontario in February of last year, and so many more individual accolades. But first of all, I want to get into, the playing career. And obviously, 9 teams, 5 leagues, most of it in the MLS, 4 MLS Cups, 2 with San Jose, 2 with Houston. Just to summarize, I guess, your whole career, did you ever want to obviously make that jump to, those European big leagues? You played in Germany for a season, or was MLS maybe looking like your route, and obviously you made it the best of it?
Yeah, I mean, well, as you mentioned, I started in Germany, I started in Europe, and it didn't go the way that I envisioned it. So I came back to kind of get a fresh start, build the love for the game again. And it worked out great. It worked out fantastic. But with that being said, I still, wanted to go overseas. Opportunities did arise. And, certain situations always didn't work out accordingly, whether that's the league asking for more money or just the timing of the opportunity. I was at Blackburn and they wanted me, but the league wanted an exceptional amount of money, and Blackburn refused to pay. And then, of course, on the other side is my opportunity at Celtic. they wanted me as well. TFC didn't want to let me release me for the just for the rest of that season. So there's a lot of variables that come into play here. Sometimes agents wanted more money than I knew about. So there's a lot of intricacies that come into play. It doesn't just it's not as smooth process as everyone thinks it is. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. But in saying that, I knew at the end of the day, I was in a very competitive league. I was representing myself, my community, and my country, and I always wanted to, highlight that and represent us the best way possible, regardless of where I was playing. And I would like to think I did that.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree with you more. You did have majority of your appearances, though, with San Jose and with Houston. Was there ever one team in the MLS, other than obviously being at home in Toronto, your 2 stints with the Reds, that maybe San Jose or Houston was truly kind of like your home?
No, it was my home for sure. They welcomed me with open arms. Everywhere I went was, and let's be honest, it's easier when you're winning, right? When you're winning, everybody, everything is good. So I'm very fortunate that every team I went to, we won. Even my time at TFC, I was fortunate to bring Toronto FC their first trophies, in the Canada Cup and back to back. So, for me, that was a success. That was a huge success leading into 2016-17 when we won MLS Cup. And so it's everywhere was home. Everywhere I played, where I laid my hat, that was my home. So where I put my feet and played, that was my home. So and the fans welcomed me as such.
Absolutely. You see a few Scarborough men right now playing for the Maple Leafs, and Wayne Simmons and Michael Bunting, and you're from Scarborough as well. How important was it for you to bring your heritage, your culture, our culture here in Canada in Scarborough to the States, and almost make everyone know that I'm Canadian. I'm in the States, but I'm Canadian doing what I'm doing?
Yeah, I mean, it was crucial because coming from Scarborough, especially back then, to make it in soccer wasn't easy. There wasn't all these avenues that you have now, like my academy, and there's other academies, there's other programs, there's new facilities. There's obviously Toronto FC. They're taking a lot of interest in kids coming out of Scarborough. There wasn't these avenues and outlets when I was growing up. There wasn't really any. In fact, it was very difficult to make it coming from our community because the stigma that was in place with kids coming from Scarborough. The provincial program was all the way in Hamilton on Saturday and Sunday mornings, outside in the freezing cold. We had to train. So it was so many barriers and so many hurdles and obstacles that we had to overcome. But everything they threw at me, I knew where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to take this game to the next level. And I'm feel very blessed to be some of the elite few to make it, out of Scarborough in soccer. Guys like Julian and Jonathan. We had to work exceptionally hard and on our own, and just going after what seemed to be was a wild goose chase at a time, because there was no football at a professional level or at any level, until Lynx came around and tried to revive that, that next level for soccer here. Bless the Lynx for their contributions towards the growth of soccer in Ontario, and setting up a program where we can, play at least in the A League at a 16, DERO signing with Toronto Lynx, and getting to showcase my talent in American market. And of course, my resilientness of competing and sticking with the provincial program and going through the national system, and then playing the Youth World Cup. That's how I got scouted to go to Germany. And then, the football career began. But, I think there's more opportunities now. There's more, a better foundation for kids to start from. And hopefully we get to see more of those young athletes, as you mentioned, coming out of Scarborough, because Scarborough is still a very diverse immigrant community. And a lot of immigrants start there, no different than my parents. We started there, and then you expand once you make it in life, right?
I feel like DERO, I feel like there's another town, and that's where I'm from, Brampton, because there's a lot of Brampton boys I don't know what's in the water for the Brampton Mans in Canada and in TFC for football, because let me tell you something, there's a lot of guys over here. Isn't it just good to see in every city in Canada, of course, but I guess maybe smaller towns or not larger markets, and all these kids, all these men, these women getting the avenues and finally saying Brampton, Ontario, Scarborough, Ontario, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice, you know, it's nice. And I'm just speaking on my experience coming from Scarborough, but definitely, you know, respect is due to anyone that's coming from any adverse communities or environments, you know, Jane and Finch and all these communities, you know. Yeah, I just feel like the West End is where all the nice facilities are. You got so many facilities in the West. Like you got so many to choose from, you know, and you know, it's not like that in Scarborough, right? As big as Scarborough is, we don't really have a lot of facilities as you guys do, you know, high performance facilities, right? That has, like, you know, beautiful turf, building and infrastructure in place. But, you know, it's still a salute to all kids, and it's not just kids growing up in I kind of retract my statement, where it's not just kids growing up in challenged environments like we have, but just in a general. It's amazing to see, you know, young players and youth getting the platform and the opportunities that they're getting today to take the game to the next level.
You touched upon it a little bit, you know, your career and where you were and how you were, you know, were there. But how truly hard, you know, how hard is it truly to make, you know, make it pro, make it professional, and not just make it, but stay there?
Yeah, I mean, it comes from a deep, burning love and passion within. That's the only way you could sustain it. I mean, if you just enjoy playing or you like playing, that's not enough to make it to that next level, right? You got to love it, because you're going to have to deal with a lot of adversity. You're going to have to, chances are you might have to get up and leave Toronto, right? You know, or you go to TFC and there's like, it's super competitive, and you know, there's lots of competition there. Trying to funnel through an 18-man roster or a 20-something man roster is still very, very difficult, right? At a professional level in a professional club. So, you know, you have to have that love, that passion to get out and train on your own and be willing to do things that most kids don't want to do, like train on their own and go work your behind off. You know, not a lot of kids are playing soccer. You walk by a lot of the fields outdoors, nice, beautiful facilities, and you barely see anyone kicking around the ball. You know, they wait till it's like a structured practice and then they show up to practice, but that's not enough. You gotta train the ball on your own. And not saying you have to join these programs that cost a lot of money. You just need to just create a relationship with the ball and yourself, and just go to the field and figure it out.
I used to coach under 15 girls in Caledon Soccer Club. Now I coach under 10 boys, rep level in the Caledon Soccer Club. And I told them, boys, an hour and a half out of practice, it ain't enough. If you want to make it to the next level, go in the backyard, go in the park, go in the basement, just touch it, touch the ball. That's all you need to do, right? And that's exactly, you know, to your point, right? If you want it, you start at a young age. Yes, you're still young, and the mentality's maybe not fully there, but all you gotta do is get touches on the ball, and you'll slowly look and say, "Wow, I'm getting better." And then the love of the passion comes with that, right? So that's exactly now. That's good. Hey, boys, listen to DERO. It's exactly what I told you, and he said the same thing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we're growing up in a time where you don't see a lot of kids outside playing on their own.
Yeah.
Right, where you have to kind of create that environment now for them to play, you know, street soccer, and that's where it stems from, you know, just playing street soccer with small goals and trying to find creative ways to get the ball in between a small space, and you know how to use your, you know, maneuver through that and find out solutions. So that it helps.
Let me tell you, DERO, these kids these days, they don't know the recess foot hockey games when you put the winter jackets down with the little tennis ball and try to play foot hockey. Basically, it's just soccer, just with a little tennis ball. These kids don't know these days, DERO.
and those things go a long way, man. Those things go a long way.
Absolutely. Listen, you're always a big advocate for Toronto, for Canada, and the love and the passion you have for TFC is basically second to none, and by right, of course. You see a few people in this city, Drake always representing Toronto well, and I know there's so many more as well. But just on the top of my head, how important is it for people to represent our city, our country? Because you see from professional players, professional teams, sometimes the players don't want to come here within TFC or within just Toronto teams in general, whatever reason that may be. Maybe it's because the cold, -30 is too much for them. But, how important is it for you to keep on representing the beautiful city of Toronto and really Canada in general?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's important because it's created a safe and how can I say a great opportunity for my parents. Leaving Guyana and coming here with not much and making the life that they become, and coming here and having provided me and my brothers the opportunities that we now have that we may not have back then if we were to stay in Guyana, right? And it's just something that I'm grateful for, and I show my gratitude every time I step on that field, and especially representing Canada, and especially growing through the whole grassroots system in Ontario soccer system, and my father having a major influence in a lot of that development in terms of in the soccer development. I'm not even saying in my development alone, but I'm saying just in the soccer, what he was able to create and help out and commit to. Back then you had coaches, parents that loved the game, and they gave their life towards developing the future, and the commitment was there. And I felt like soccer is very community oriented, and so I give a lot. I feel that responsibility to showcase my proud culture from my community, and growing up in a very diverse community, and as well as growing up in a tough environment, as well as my passion for sport. I try to show that every time I enter the field, that's what I represent, and I want the world to know that's what I represent.
And you represented it well, the 2 stints with Toronto FC in 2009 and 2011, and then back in 2014. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode of feeling like home, and how you embraced home anywhere you went. And not a lot of players do that, by the way. So that is a kudos to you and amazing to you. But coming back home literally and playing in Toronto, was it weird? Was it a good weird though? Like, I don't know, half an hour drive, and I could go sleep in my own bed right back at home, right? Like, how cool was it to even just look up and be like, damn, like I'm home. Like this is really home.
Yeah, I mean, it was in 2007 when TFC first started their first inaugural season. I knew it was going to be something special. I was one of those guys who was not surprised at the fans' reaction and the amount of season tickets sold, because again, growing up here, I knew the passion and the love that soccer had, and it was very downplayed. It wasn't promoted. Canada, when we played in Canada, it was always like the little small article in the back of a page. And when TFC started in 2007, I was like, okay, finally now Toronto, I'm not even saying the people of Toronto, I'm saying sports media, I'm saying everybody up there in those high buildings, are get to see what soccer is really about. And that real passion. And we saw it on the first game. We saw it when Danny scored and they threw the seats. And, it was that encompasses all my experiences growing up, of that community, of that love for the game. And, to have the opportunity to come back in 2009 was very difficult. Obviously, as you mentioned, Houston, back-to-back champions. It was tough to leave a very successful, strong, complete team, I would say we were. But I felt like it was time for me to spread my wings and come back home and help my Toronto win a championship. That was my sole purpose, because I felt like I've been away from home since '97. I haven't come back to live. It's now 10 years or whatever, how many years later, I felt that now it's time for me to come back home and to start my roots. And in some respects, I want to say I maybe came back a little too early, with all due respect. Just because I don't think the organization was ready for someone like me, because I just want to win, and I want everything that I knew what it took to win, to have that mindset, like win. Sound tickets is great, but I want to win. I'm a player. I want to win. I want grass. I want proper facility. I want the stuff that I was having in the States, right? And I'm coming to my hometown, and I demand that now because I'm in a position where I could speak on that because I know what it takes to win, having won 4 championships. But I don't think they're ready for that, a player to come in to try to change things. But thankfully, it worked out for the best. And look at us now. I mean, we have our own training ground. We have the one of the best fields in MLS. Arguably in the world too. I mean, that pitch is fantastic. I mean, when football is not playing on it, American Argos, but before that, that field is immaculate. It's an amazing field. So, and our Canadian national team has a home here. So, going back to kind of your comments before is, representing Canada, what's that's like. I remember grew up at a time where we'd play Honduras and there's more Honduran fans. El Salvador is more Salvador. Jamaica is more Jamaican. Now we're coming home and we're seeing a lot more red and white. And that for me is positive.
And I wanted to get to that, right? The Canadian men's national team and how that switch has made, for Canada and the better for Canada. But I want to touch upon that just a little bit later as I want to, just finish off the career because, the career finished in the MLS in 2014 with TFC, but then you came back. It's like you said, nah, DERO's not done yet. And you wanted to play, and you did play with the Mississauga Metro Stars, who unfortunately are no longer in the MASL, the Major Arena Soccer League. You played 11 games with them. You scored 8 goals. Why come back after, I want to say, 4 or 5 years? And yes, it wasn't obviously all due respect, the highest of professional ranks, that you're used to playing at. Yeah. But it's like you must have had that fuel, that extra fire or something to say, I'm not fully done yet. Let's play 11 more games, right? No.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wasn't fully done when I retired, but Tim Lawicki at the time provided an opportunity for me as an ambassador that I felt that, I needed to take. I felt that, we had a very heart-to-heart conversation, and in my heart, I really want to still play, but I knew from putting my pride and putting all that aside, I knew that this was the best decision to make for not only for me, but for my family. Not to also mention my kids are getting older as well. And I just wanted to be a dad. I just wanted to support them. I wanted to go to their games. They were also pursuing their passion in football, and I didn't want that pressure to keep mounting on them. And, when they're going to play, I can't go because I'm traveling and stuff. But I really want to be available for them a little bit more and support their dream and their passion. So I felt that was the best decision to make. And then, of course, after a while, I was like, okay, I want to, start to get that itch again to play. An opportunity came up with the Metro Stars. And I said, wow, this would be cool. This would be challenging, where it allowed me I got to select which road games I would want to play. So I could kind of dictate my own schedule a little bit and play all the home games, right? And decide which away games I wanted to play. Of course, I want to play in Baltimore because I just wanted to see what that environment's like. I've heard so much about Baltimore Blast. Let's not forget that this indoor league is a league that has been thriving for years and years and years, generations now. This is not a league that just popped up. It's only Metro Stars is the new team, but we're talking about a very successful, healthy indoor league that's still playing as we speak. And I just wanted to be a part of that. I knew Toronto was having a team and they wanted me to be a part of it. And I said, let me do what I can to help out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It just seems from just talking to you, and you're more of a team guy than maybe that personal recognition or personal awards guy. But I'm
a team guy until I'm in front of the net.
Yeah, and then you ain't passing. You're scoring. No.
Yeah. I'm not passing the ball. I'm not passing the ball to anybody.
You're in the six. There's no way you're passing. No.
Well, I would say a little bit more further, maybe like the 30 yards in.
As soon as you can hit a free kick range, you're not passing the ball. Straight for goal. That's amazing. Well, listen, you won the individual awards, right? The 7-time MLS All-Star, 4-time Canadian Player of the Year, MLS MVP, MLS Golden Boot, 4 MLS Cups. That was obviously a team, of course. But how amazing is it to see you look back and you have all these personal accolades and personal recognition to say, okay, I've had a pretty damn good career.
No, yeah, I mean, like I said, especially from my humble beginnings, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have accomplished that. I'm grateful to surpass my own dreams and my own visions. I never knew that I was going to take it this far, and accomplish so much. But once I got it, it was like a drug. Like I wanted more of it, right? And I was willing to push my body to the limits and train and work out and focus, health wise, take care of how I eat and how I take care of my body was a major factor and component towards all that success. And it's a humble, rewarding feeling, and it's something that I would love to pass on to my kids first and foremost, and then to the next generation that I'm developing, whether that's through my foundation or through my academy.
Absolutely. Are the kiddies taking your advice, or they're saying, Dad, don't worry, I got this. I got this on
my kids, my own kids,
your kids, yeah.
I'm just a dad, bro.
That's it. That's it. Amazing. You're like, Dad, leave me alone.
Mentioned is like your dad. I don't care about that. Your dad.
I'm not taking. Yeah.
But I will say they do make me all my kids make me very proud, and I love them all equally. And my daughter's going out after her passion. She's a little grown. She's 24. My son is actually playing in Ukraine as we speak right now in the first division, and I really would like to see him take this game to the next level and have a career out of it if he can, and support his passion. And then my other son's a goalkeeper with TFC. He loves it, and I want to support him. And then my young guy is just being a 9-year-old, he's in and out of everything. So, but he likes goalie too. So I don't know what's up with the goalies, but I'm not complaining. At least I know when I go to a net, I always got someone to shoot on, right? So I'm not complaining. Or get the balls out the net when I need it.
Exactly. Hey, I'm a goalie family. I played League One Ontario in goalie with Aurora and Pro Stars. My sister just won the League One Ontario championship with Woodbridge.
Nice.
She's a goalie as well. We got hockey goalies, soccer goalies. So hey, if you want to come make the trip to Caledon, and I'll have your son play on my rep team, no problem. You 10, 2012. I know you're younger, but hey, say, no, I'm just kidding. You're gonna go from Toronto to Caledon. No. Listen, that's amazing.
He's good at my academy so far. He's good there, but
he doesn't need to stay at your dad's academy. Come on. Come to No, I'm kidding. No, that's awesome. That's it's good to see, right? Obviously, because you see, all these professional or former professional players, and they're dad, obviously, mom or dad to their kids, right? And has there ever been though like that line where like the kids would be like, Dad, again? I don't know, like an autograph or a picture, or people stopping you and you're going to restaurants and stuff like that? Because I don't know, if I saw you on side street, I'm like, hey, Dero, can I have a picture? Now that we talked, I'm definitely going to stop. You know what I mean? So has it ever been like that, or they've always were younger when maybe that happened?
No, they've lived through that whole thing. Like, I mean, especially like San Jose, Houston times. Mm-hmm. Toronto's Toronto. Toronto, they see you and like, I hear, and they walk by. Those Latinos and the Latinas, in their blood, they love, like, they're not giving you no. When they see you, they're like, there's times where I have to get like, security escort through malls and stuff. They've been through all that stuff. People pulling up to my car, stopping my car to sign autographs. Like, I've been through my kids have been through some experiences, and it's I just show them that you always take time. You always take time, because at the end of the day, you don't know how long this is gonna last. So even if you're tired, and a lot of times we're tired, we're so many personal things going on with your life, and when a fan comes, you gotta put that face on, you gotta give them that time and sign their autograph. And you don't know how that could impact and inspire people. And that's one thing I always share with my kids, regardless of what you're going through. Put that aside and just breathe and take time for fans. It's something I've always appreciated, something that I've always valued. And even just the other day, just traveling, my kids constantly see it, whether that's guys that work at the border, when you're going through security check, they're like, hey, can you sign this for my kid? I think he's going to be a soccer player, or he's a soccer player. He knows you, and these things, relationship, it makes you feel good, because people recognize the work that you do and the body of work, and they appreciate what you do. And I appreciate their support same way.
Absolutely. That's amazing to hear, because let's be frank. I mean, if I'm allowed to say it or not, not a lot of players or professional people do that in general. sometimes they don't take the time, and sometimes they're a little bit more let's just say not welcoming, right? Or not kind enough to do it. So that's awesome to hear. Listen, we're almost done here, but I just want to touch upon a few, cooler things after your game and after your career. DERO, My Life, your book, the autobiography, written with Brendan Dunlop, who formerly was on Sportsnet, and obviously doing other things as well now. Why now, or why was it your idea, and why say, you know what, let's make a book, let's put my autobiography in it, because I think I can reach people, and how cool is it to say that you have a book?
Yeah, I think I always say, why not?
Yeah.
All right. Why not? Why not now? Why not now when I'm alive and I could tell my own story, and I could talk to you about my story? Why do I have to wait till I'm gone and then people write my story of how they think it's going to be, or someone else's words? So I just saw an opportunity, and I'm always a go-getter. So I saw Brendan, actually, bless his heart, came to me with the idea. Actually, I started with the idea on my own. I started writing. I got to about one page and I just hit writer's block. You ever hear writer's block? And I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what direction to go to. I was like, my head was swollen and hurting. I was like, what do I do next? Where do I take this story? And so happened around that time, Brendan reached out to me. I saw him randomly, and he's like, dude, man, you ever thought about telling your story? I'm pretty sure you have an interesting story. As a big fan, you're a sports editor. I would love to sit down with you and hear your story. And I was like, wait, is this? Let me see what's going on here, because here I am trying to figure out how to get past this one page, and here's this guy telling me that he's a fan, he appreciates my story, and he wants me to. So what initially came to what was just a conversation became my life. And at first, of course, it was hard to open up to someone I really don't know, right? But I trusted, because I felt good around Brandon. He has this amazing ambiance that makes you feel welcoming, and make you feel like, you just listen and you ask the right questions. And there was times where we had to stop and I had to regroup, because I went into some past that I didn't even touch on ever in my life, that I had to catch myself, and I had to say, dude, give me a couple of days or a week, and then we'll have this conversation. So this body of work has been in the works from since maybe late 2016, 17.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been years and years of meeting and constant meeting. And, because there's a lot of history, there's a lot of past, that I had to go through and tell my story. But, so I just felt that it was important on many levels. It was important for my community to tell my community's experience, important to tell the Guyanese experience that I'm very proud of, my culture, the Scarborough experience, the Metro housing experience, the Toronto experience, the soccer experience, the lifestyle experience, our whole West Indian culture experience for me that I'm very proud of. So I just wanted to just say, listen, here we have a lot of say. We have a lot to do with the growth and everything in Toronto, right, and Canada. And I felt like it was a story that needed to be told. And here you have it, DERO My Life. And I also came out with my headphones too, by the way.
Yes, no, I did see that. And you have your headphones, and so you basically, you can put the headphones on while you're reading DERO My Life, and you're laughing. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
So, that's it. With a DERO TFC jersey.
Right.
And that's it. We're good to go. We're set. Right?
Listening to Maestro Fresh West or Drake or Cardinal Official, or any of our great Toronto, Julie Black, or any of our amazing Toronto artists.
That's it. And then we're good to go. We're good to go.
Support our people, man. We need to do a better job of that.
Absolutely. We need to do a better job. I think we are doing a better job of supporting that. And really not, all these people going to the States, right? And then forgetting where we're from, right? For broadcasting, for me in the future, could there be more opportunity in the States? Possibly. Yeah, maybe not. But you always got to look back where you're from and who got you to that point as well, and so on and so forth. And that's exactly why, I wanted to talk to you for a while now, and we finally got it set up, because you're that type of guy, and you're
Can we find a way to change that narrative though? Can we find a way to that you don't have to be validated because you went to the States and now they like you, and now all of a sudden you got all these guys, oh, I'm your cousin, I'm your nephew, I love you, man, I love you. I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't want to hear me when you didn't want to see me play. You didn't want to give me that shine. You're just, so I hope we could change that narrative, because we have amazing talents from all different walks of life. But again, we always have to get that validation when we cross that border.
Absolutely. Right? And when we do, try to get that validation, it's like, why do we need that? Like, that's me. That's what we're doing. Why do we have to get it back home? Right. And hopefully that changes. And I think it's going to, let's be honest, Drake's a big one for that, to change that narrative. And he might have the most popular voice in the city. Let's be frank about that. Right. And he's doing a great job of, just him simply being at majority Raptors games does that, right? Because why is Drake here? He could be in the States. He could be in LA, just living
right.
the beach life,
right? Drake is mega. Drake is mega, and he's an amazing story. He's a story that I look at and I admire, because here you have a Degrassi guy in Degrassi. I never watched Degrassi. I thought it was a whack show, but. No, I'm telling you straight, but what he was able to do with his music coming from that, that image, it was like, oh, he's just a Degrassi guy, but he didn't let that space him. He still went into a very competitive rap game, a culture, and didn't look back, and blew up because he was hungry and he was a go-getter and he was resilient. And that's why he always is redefining himself all the time. So much props to him. And, he's the top of I think, as you said, the voice of Canada and the image of Canada in terms of his global, there's no other, I don't think, person that has the weight that Drake has in any era, in any genre, with all due respect, and there's been some amazing, gifted, talented artists, actors, everything, but I think he's just mega, and opens the doors, right? It's up for other people to look at him and say, okay, not just to ride on his coattails, but to look at his work ethic and look at where he came from and the work he put in, and constantly giving people demo tapes and pushing his own brand in front of people's face, and he's a smart businessman too. So respect to him.
Absolutely. Listen, you have your own soccer academy as mentioned. It was formerly DERO United Football Academy, and then the affiliation came in with Toronto FC, which is brilliant in my opinion. Now it's DERO TFC Academy. You had a women's League One Ontario team, as mentioned, I want to say 2-3 years ago in 2018, I think, going to the semifinals of the League Cup in that year. But you have your son in there, and the youth coming up. How important was it for you to have that? It's my academy, but I want to get these youth going, get these youth playing, and obviously funneling them higher and higher.
Yeah, I mean, my family is rich in football. As I mentioned earlier, my father has contributed so much to the game, and I just felt like here we are with a wealth of knowledge. We first started off as a foundation first, doing free soccer clinics across North America and inner city communities and the Caribbean. We've traveled all over. And then we started to do a power training and development program, focus on, touch technique, a lot of what these independent private training sessions we were doing that like in 2008, 2009. And then we said, parents kept saying, could we have more of this? Can we do more of this? And that was kind of leaning into, I knew I was getting older, the retirement's coming, and I wanted to have something a little bit more, a more solid foundation, because we were training these kids and then they're going away. And we're happy because at the end of the day, they're benefiting, but I want something a little bit more sustainable. So we decided to go forward with the DERO United Football Academy program and, slowly build our way from 13 and under, and then develop to where we are today. And as you mentioned, merging with TFC just made perfect sense for me, because it is the professional club, a club that I'm very passionate about and proud about, and it gives an opportunity for another pathway for kids. Not to say that every kid going through our program that has to go to TFC, but there is a route. There's a route there we have connections with universities and colleges as well. And then, of course, for the elite kids that want to try overseas, there's also opportunities as well. So for me, I just want to give back to the game the way it's given back to me. I've never had anyone from that was at any professional level come speak to me as a kid or work with us when we were a kid. So I just felt like it was important for me to give back, and that's why I decided to start my own academy.
Well, the government gave back to you as well, because you were appointed to the Order of Ontario in February of 2020. How cool was that, and how did that come up?
Oh man, that was that was big in so many ways. It was super cool. It was super cool. I was going through a lot that time. My father just passed the same day where I had to accept the honor.
Wow.
So that was very difficult, but I knew he would want me there, right? Because that for me was like it was his honor, you know, that I was able to share with him in spirit. And so I went and with my kids, and you know, it was amazing, man. It was to get the award of Ontario. I don't play for that. I don't strive to have these that recognition. And you know, I'm grateful to be among so much people who have devoted their life towards giving back and helping this wonderful city and this community, and to be mentioned on the same names with some of these people that I look up to is a huge honor. Again, coming from metro housing communities is humbling, and I hope inspiring for generations to come.
Amazing. Listen, Dero, tell me if you remember this date, okay? February 2nd, 2002. I know it's about 19 years ago now. Do you remember what happened that day?
February 2nd, 2002.
I know it's a while ago.
Yeah, that is a while ago. I'm trying to think. What happened?
CONCACAF Gold Cup versus South Korea. Your first goal.
Oh, my first goal. Yes.
There you go. How amazing was that? Your first Canadian men's national team senior goal.
Wow. That amazing. Dream again, you know, obviously as a forward, the hardest thing is scoring your first goal, especially as a national team and against a big country like South Korea that was you know, in a Gold Cup, a big competition. Was I think it comes from the confidence that I was building throughout my career, having played in San Jose and having scored the MVP, again, MVP in the finals and scoring the Golden Goal there. And it just trickled in. I said, you know, I could do this, and I'm going to do this. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, and that was for the country. So scoring for Canada has always been priority number one for me. It's trying to get Canada to qualify for a World Cup has always been a dream of mine. And, you know, to score that goal it set me off. You know, it was like, okay, keep it coming.
Hey, 1998 to 2015, 81 appearances, 22 goals for the country. What is it like representing Canada? We touched upon it a little bit here and there throughout the episode, but just putting on the jersey, stepping on the field, it's your country. You know, you're representing Canada, even if you don't score or not, which you have, but you're there. What does it mean to represent the country of Canada?
Everything, man. It's pride, it's sacrifice, it's commitment, it's passion, it's love, it's resilientness, it's the struggles, it's the hard hours working on field on your own, crying to yourself. It's your parents going on a plane, not knowing where they're going to a foreign country and just hoping that everything works out. It's cleaning the floors, it's the grit, it's the grind, it's all that, you know, all that. And when you hear that, you wear that jersey and you step up there and you hear that anthem, all those emotions come crashing to you. So it's special, man. It's truly a special moment that only the athlete that's in that position. It's hard to me to describe in words, you know. I hope, yeah,
absolutely. And how you know, awesome or great is it to see that you were once there? It was maybe not the greatest successful times, right? Results wise, but you always, you put in the work. You guys did what you obviously can do.
We won a Gold Cup in 2000.
You won the Gold Cup. The Gold Cup
Yeah.
there, but I mean, World Cup wise, like qualifying wise, of course. And obviously Canada's working to the Gold Cup now, but they're also working to the World Cup now. And you see the talent now is really exceptional. It is world class. And like you said, you had yourself there. You had a few others in the mix as well in the 98 to 2015 eras. But can the boys do it now? Because let me tell you something, Dero. They look good. They look resilient. They look hungry. I've had, Tosaint Ricketts, I've had him on my show. I've had Richie Larea. I've had Lucas Cavallini as well. And I've also had Kristen Jack. And I've asked the same question kind of in different ways to each player and then Kristen Jack as well. And they said, we're hungry here. Lucas Cavallini told me, Dero, that in the past, that mentality just wasn't there from, maybe the manager and so on and so forth. Now it's there. John Herdman and everyone is locked in and they're ready to go. And in your opinion, can Canada make this World Cup in Qatar in 2022?
Well, first, I disagree with that comment. The hunger was always there. The infrastructure wasn't there. The support wasn't there. The a lot of things weren't there, right? TFC
Absolutely.
wasn't there. Vancouver wasn't there. The support from the community wasn't there. We weren't playing home games. We were playing, against Portugal and Spain and Argentina and all these places. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So the hunger was there. I would never say that the passion was there. I mean, world-class players were there. Stalte was there. Jimmy Brennan was there. Craig Forrest was there. Thomas Rosinski was there. Alex Bunbury was there. I can never disrespect my past like that. I would never do that. Absolutely. But what I would say is the support is there now. So now we're getting the support. Now we're putting money towards the program and its development. Now we're doing we're getting a game every qualifying match against opponents that we can grow and develop. We've gone through a qualifying phase against weaker teams, weaker countries, where we had time to gel as a country and time to develop as a country. We never had that in the past. We just went straight into qualifying against Honduras, and we never had an infrastructure here. So we're coming in with guys playing all over the world, showing up, train a couple of days, and then boom, you're right into competition mode. Because we miss 4 or 5 qualification days because we don't want to spend the money on qualifications. There's a lot of variables that go into play, but the hunger was always there. The passion was always there. The love was always there. It's just, when you look at the qualifiers back in the days, we started to pick up momentum when it was too late already. When we probably lost or tied our home game where we should have won because we were still gelling. Right. But now we're in a situation and we're blessed to be in a situation like this and not taking anything away from, because I love what's happening. But, you have a first round against, weaker countries that we dominated. We should dominate. And we did that. But that creates confidence. That builds the team chemistry. And then you go from that and then you go into another qualifying stage. Right. And now you go into the hex. Right. And when you're now flying on all cylinders. And so it's great to see that we are having a lot of attacking options. It's great to see that these guys are standing up and making the country proud and taking the game now to that next level. And hopefully they do that. It's still a lot of work ahead. It's still a lot of work to accomplish, but we're definitely in the right direction. And we have guys that are playing with that confidence. We have guys now that are playing consistently at their clubs at a very high level. We have guys that have had amazing success in Alfonso Davies that he's been able to come and share with the rest of the guys, and it's definitely fantastic. It's on the right track, but this is a buildup of Randy Samuel's era to now, and the reason why I say right now because he was a captain in the 80s to now, a guy I have a lot of respect for. To now. So finally we're here. Now let's go. Let's not stop. Let's get this game where it should be, on the front news of the sports, right? In the front of the sun, in the front of media's sports media broadcasting, in the forefront. And let's highlight this sport. It's a world sport for a reason. And soccer could be kind of sport, curling could be kind of sport, which curling could be kind of sport, lacrosse, fantastic, but soccer can too. Because the most kids play soccer. There's more kids playing soccer from how many years So there's no reason why we can't start embracing soccer a little bit more.
Yeah. DERO, absolutely. DERO, I might have to call you out on one thing. And that one thing is, I don't know if anyone still reads the newspaper, DERO. In front of the Toronto Sun. No.
Well, wherever.
I'm kidding.
Internet or sports.
Absolutely. Yeah. Twitter and the Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Right on the front of the paper, the Sun. My viewers are like, what's that?
Make our games accessible so everybody can see, No. Make it friendly. Put our jerseys in all sports stores, can they put our players, instead of putting Messi's out, Messi Ronaldo, but I want to see our heroes on there where kids like, I want to be him, they can see and visualize. That's where we need to do a better job.
Yeah. Was it a little bit tough though for you? Well, not now. I mean, now is it tough for a little bit for you to see these media, or even me bringing it up here, who I've spoken to and say, be compared to maybe not making the World Cup or struggling in the time that you played with Canada, compared to how they're doing now? Or no, you know what? That's my past. We worked our tail off. We had the hunger. We had the passion. We just didn't have the supporting cast of off the field around us to give us that stuff on the field. Is it kind of tough to be compared like that? Or, what it is, what it was? We played our tails off. We worked our we were horses on the field and played hard. And it is what it is now. Good and all the best to them.
Well, it's only tough when would say they have more hunger now, or they have more drive now, which that part is 100% not true, because we all did. We all fought you give up. Sometimes people don't realize how much you're giving up sometimes to play your national team, right? Like you're giving up your job really to come play with the national team. You're giving up your livelihood. Look at me in 2012 qualifiers. I think it's 2012, where I destroyed my knee, and pretty much after that, my career wasn't the same. Yeah. Right. It took me out for a year, and in Panama, we're actually doing okay. We were like almost towards the hex, and I was a big part of that puzzle. Yeah. And there, I'm injured. We got to play Cuba at home, and then we have to play Honduras in Honduras, and we know how that ended up, right? But you look back at that, and you're like, man, like I sacrificed my body, my livelihood for my country, right? Well, so, and all of us did. So, and I'll do it again, and there's no regrets in that. But it's not hard to compare, because I know within myself, and I'm very comfortable with myself to know what I brought to the table. Yes. I never turned down a call up, regardless of what was going on with my club, or even if the game didn't even make sense to me. I still said, all right, I'm jumping on the plane. I'm going 3 flights or 4 flights, some ridiculousness, some crazy flight that they have us on, right? No direct, like, bro, I'm just going one country over. Why I got to fly here to there? Because the cheapest flight. So I'm saying the way it is.
True.
So,
it's true.
But I still never turned it down. I got on a boat, and we went we jumped on a boat instead of flying over to a country, not saying is in the Caribbean, but we actually got on a boat as a team, and we went across the water. People are throwing up in the back, and we're a national team. So there's so many experiences that I've been through, but I'll do it all over again, because I knew I did it. I did it because I wanted to represent everywhere we go that Canada has talent, and represent like I said, every time I went there, I represent my community, my culture, and I wanted to be, I wanted us to always be where we are now. And thankfully we're here now, and let's not get comfortable, and let's not get complacent. Let's support the boys. Let's get them in media. Let's get them in these stores. Let's get them with the fans, and let's make this World Cup. I mean, why wait till 2026? Why not do it now?
Hey, we're co-hosting then with Mexico and the States, but why? Exactly. Let's get there now. There's several games in that wild hexagonal stage, which the most grueling qualifying, World Cup qualifying, in my opinion. Maybe South America as well. A lot of games for any World Cup, but also just to clear up. Remember the player or what was said. It was for the hunger of the management of the program, never the players, because that they know those players know now that players like you and so many more worked their absolute tails off. It was the hunger that they were saying for the management and for the infrastructure and all that stuff. Like you said, maybe back then their passion wasn't in, but they never once said the players' passion wasn't in. And I agree with you, because if that was said, I stopped them in their tracks right away, because even though I wasn't there, I know the players' passion was in, just like yours and all the guys you mentioned. They were saying, obviously, Canada soccer, and that passion wasn't in from the people higher than you boys who are working your rear ends off on the pitch, right? So I just wanted to clear that up. But I also agree with you in saying that if a player doesn't also have that passion, it really shouldn't even be there in general, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't be there.
It wouldn't be there.
They would be sought out very quick by myself or by one of other leaders. We there's no time for that, because it's you can feel it, you can sense it, and or they have one cap or two caps or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Dero, I appreciate you very much. I appreciate your time. Just two Ontario, man. Just two Ontario guys just talking, and it's good to see that that this is getting more and more common with my show that's growing. And I want to be a professional broadcaster one day. If whether it's hockey, it's soccer, I can do both. I can do several others as well. But listen, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you giving me the time. I thought this was a great chat. Feels like I've known you for forever now. But listen, Dero, I really appreciate it once again. And thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you, man. And all the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, everybody, this was episode number 47 and Footy edition number 9. 3 more episodes until we're at 50. I can't believe it. Mamma mia. This is Fire Talk. Visit www.mamamia.thisisfiretalk.com. We got merchandise. You see I'm wearing, the other side. You see I'm wearing my host polo, but we got hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and long sleeves as well. Please support TFC, Canadian Men's National Team. Dero, My Life, autobiography. Got the DERO headphones. Just get the whole suit. Just get the whole fit and make it happen, baby. DERO Academy as well. If you're looking to put the youth in there. Remember, I am with Calvin Soccer Club too. So maybe a little bit of both. Let's do a little bit.
Support the foundation then.
Exactly, baby. Exactly. Support the DERO Foundation. Listen, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Stay safe out there. There's still some COVID going around. And mamma mia.
Thank you, brother.
Lopez turns it over, and now Cavallini with it. Cavallini finds Baker. Albanese comes out. Baker gets to it first, around the keeper, and in the back of the net. Blows the whistle, the captain, Dylan Carrero, for Woodbridge. The penalty kick. Steps up and takes it neatly so, with a great, brilliant penalty kick strike into the corner. The ref blows the whistle. Whiteman steps forward, looking, and right down the middle with the strike there, and the penalty kick in the 19th minute. Anything coming now, a chance for Jason Mills. He comes in, the shot on goal, off the woodwork again, the rebound comes out, to Mills again, shot scores! Oh my word, number 11 with the finish, and that's Brandon Mills. Oakville looking to play long instead of building up. It's going to favor them off the second ball. A chance for the Blue Devils. Can they get anything on goal? Goes back outside looking for the offside call. It's not. Now cross back in. Back door. It's a goal. And the Blue Devils are on the door first. Push back with good defensive play from North Mississauga. And they steal it and now look at the counter. Can the Panthers go? It's 4v4. Good pace. Botello plays on the far side. They stay on side. North Miss an opportunity. They come around the break with a shot. In the back of the net it goes, and North Miss have one back. Continues with a North Mississauga free kick in midfield. An opportunity here. Shot comes in the back of the net it goes. Oh my word, what a strike. Now back, kicked up in the air. One with the header. Placed down. McNamara has the opportunity, and in the back of the net it goes. Corner kicking out for Oakville. It's a dangerous one, and in the back of the net again, and it's McNamara.
That was Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk, Footy Edition with Nicholas Fiore. Thank you for watching and listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.